Right, so here we are in Logic, soon changing over to Reaper. I've already set up most of the stuff in Wise, which is the middleware. That's the program that sits in between Logic and your gaming engine. Let me quickly show you how I structured this composition. So I started off main theme for the player. It's like an Eastern kind of situation. Think like sci-fi samurai, but not as dystopian. Player theme, like you can see up here. Then doing some transitions, intensity themes, which later translated into combat themes. One idea was to change the palette or the sound from organic, meaning orchestral or real instruments, to synthetic synthesizers in this case, to give the feeling of it being a real world that's being consumed by technology. Right, here we are at the final version. It's over here. I think let's stick with the piece that I still need to import. So what I'm taking here is just this string ensemble piece that I need to bounce out. Just one. So usually when you export your stems for interactive music, you'd leave like a little space before and after so that when it loops, it's like seamless. But because this is so short and punchy, there's no extended tail really for that to happen. Yes. And now take it to our file. Wise, where you? And this is part of a combat exploration. And what we'll do is we'll say exploration combat ensemble V2. It's good practice to include your BPM as well as entry and exit points. Okay, bouncing that out. Where are you? Where? Alright. And I already have different playlist containers and switch states, etc. Now this was exploration combat. We'll go to the music segment. This is where the music sits. What I need to do now is to create another track in here. So that piece of music you just heard, you bounce out the individual stems and import them into here, and you can randomize it so that it plays different pieces at different times. So every time it loops, it will have, not the string piece, or it might have the string piece. And same goes for the other instruments. Exploration combat. So what we need is to insert another track, new track, and this will be, what was it called? Exploration combat ensemble version 2. And where are you? Is it this? It has the underscore, so it's here. Okay, now in here we're going to change it random step, as well as adding another subtrack. Now this process, it allows for it to choose either this track, which is empty, or that one, which would have the piece of music. Now here we would say import audio file. It would be a file, and it was exploration underscore combat ensemble version 2. Okay, now it's imported it, and we can close it. It's red because it's not assigned. Okay, let's put it a second time, and we're definitely going to have to bring it down a little bit. Okay, let's listen to just the combat playlist. What I want to do, I want to just hear what it would sound like with that in. So we'll force play it. So as it cycles, it will now choose that stem regardless of what the program is pointing to. Sweet. So now let's do a run through. And it will give you an idea of how it changes. Now, before, let's say the composition went like this. In the case of using wwise, this will be randomized. Now, the next step that I'm excited to get to is that you can use what is called RTPC. It's like a tracker which you can link to a game state, and then when it moves, you can think of it as like automating priorities. So if you like moving closer to a certain enemy, moving closer to a certain space or whatever, that value increases, and so then you can set it up to choose certain audio to be prioritized as that value increases. Hope that makes sense. Now let's have a listen at what this sounds like. Come on, where's the new one? Here he comes, even creepy. You see, you experience the music in a way that you wouldn't expect. So this was like, it almost feels like a natural build. Now let's go back to Logic, and what's going to happen is we're going to have a look at the boss battle, and then go through the boss battle in wwise, and then after this we'll cycle as it would function in the game. And in this case, let's just play the end part, which is like the highest intensity level. My favorite part of this whole thing was creating this feral woman chant. This is a virtual instrument that I made from my wife's voice. We had fun recording that, and it's actually really creepy, but it fits. So it's in this case, the boss that we are fighting in this imaginary world is a ninja witch. And then with music. Okay, sweet. Now let's go to wwise. Check it out. So here, boss. Same situation, except in this case, we have the music running in sequence, because the place where the player would be is entering into a level, and then there is like a cutscene, and it has like the boss theme music. So that will play first as the player gets introduced, and then it moves into combat. We did that by here in the music playlist container. You can set up different sequences. So here we'll have the main theme play, and then it goes into the boss combat music, which is what I played to you now. But let's have a look at what it sounds like. So here it's playing this, and it will, yeah, this one, and then it transitions into this. So with here, this one, the guitars, they set up in a way where as this music is being played, it then goes into a sequence, whereas the different tracks are randomized. So sometimes you'll hear the brass, sometimes you'll only hear percussion, sometimes you'll only hear the violins, the ensemble pieces. But in the case for the guitar, I was thinking it needs to get intense as the player is fighting. As I mentioned earlier about the RTPC, it would be ideal to link those with how the player engages with the enemy. But in this case, as an example, just to have them go from like low intensity, boom, to like a low passed, kind of chopped up version, then to full. Let's listen to that again. Now, we actually want to skip the intro track, so let's just listen to the boss music. And then if I play it again, it's going to play this low pass one. And then play it again. In sequence, it's playing the guitars. Okay, so that's the boss theme. Before I continue, I just want to close up here. Back. Save some space. I've got an old computer. Alright, so now let's check out how this would function in the game. So I'm not going to go too much detail, just to show you what I've been doing. Right, so here in the transport controller, we can choose the different states of the game. Now we're going to have to imagine where we are and what's happening. So exploration, the music is set to gameplay, which is linked to a different switch container, and then the player is alive or dead or it's idle. Now we want the player to be alive. We want it to be in exploration. So these things link to the game states. Now we'll play exploration music. And this is the same process. I bounced it out and where is it? Exploration. Same structure. Okay, walking around, it's beautiful nature, beautiful view, and then you spot an enemy, and the game picks that up obviously, and so the music gets triggered to change to combat. There was a little stinger of a bass swell. And this is the combat music we were listening to before. And in the case, okay, shit, you can't handle it and you die. You got death music coming your way. But let's switch back. We got exploration. Well, we can just go from combat. Then if you win, you beat the guys. Change it back to exploration music. Success stinger. Okay, cool. Now you're back. So now we'll check out the boss battle music. So it's a different state. Player is alive. And it is combat. And so here we have then main theme playing, like we showed earlier. And then change into combat music. So cutscene. Oh shit. Now I've got to beat this ninja witch.